Game starts with a news report on a new cases of alien virus confirmed in Manhattan. Crysis Corporation is suspected of having a leak in the research unit. Quickly, the infection spreads over the city. Panic breaks not only in New York, but also in the other cities. Submarine moves through the Hudson River on a mission to find and extract Dr. Nathan Gould. Inside, special unit members speculate about the threats of the mission. As they are preparing to be deployed, the sub gets hit with a missile. Ship starts sinking and Marines try to evacuate. There is a lot of mess on the surface, and turns out many ships have been destroyed. Soon, hostile airships starts attacking the survivors. Marine called Alcatraz gets hit, but a man in a nanosuit saves his life, pushing back the attack. Looks like Alcatraz is the only one who survived. Then we get an intro showing a nanosuit, virus spread, and a soldier in the suit being attacked by the military forces in a destroyed city. Alcatraz wakes up in a battery park in New York City. This place looks like it used to be a laboratory. He loads a video where a soldier that saved him informs Dr. Gould is the last chance and he is contaminated, so he can't do much more, but he tells Alcatraz he has to finish the mission. Then he gives him his suit. It turns out this guy is a good old prophet we know from the first game. And if you want to see what happened in the previous Crysis games, check out my other videos. Also, if you like my work, you can support me via patreon.com or Superthanks here on YouTube. You will find a link to my Patreon in the description. Prophet shoots himself, so Alcatraz must locate Nathan Gould. Soon Doctor connects through the radio and informs that he is being hunted by Marines. He also sends his coordinates. Alcatraz makes his way through the camp. Soldiers try to take him down, thinking he is Prophet. Gould informs he must change his location, so Alcatraz gets out of the camp and goes through the destroyed city. It turns out that there are dozens of infected in the subways. Soon, he intercepts military transmission informing that they failed to reverse the effects of the virus. So the military decided to go through the city and kill all infected. And they also consider Prophet as an active biohazard. Gould tells Alcatraz to collect samples from an alien ship that was shut down near him, and he points out that the melted substance all over the alien ship is a human tissue. But what he needs to research is an alien tissue, so those are no good. While trying to leave the crash site, Alcatraz gets attacked by alien machine. He manages to kill it and gets an alien tissue sample. His suit starts processing the tissue and assimilates the code with the deep layer protocols. Gould says it activated some hidden deep layers in the suit, and the name Hargreave pops up under their patents. Turns out the alien tissue can actually upgrade the suit. Alcatraz goes through a freeway. On his way, he spots Lockhart arguing with Tara about whether they should capture or kill him. Tara tries to convince him that Hargreave needs Prophet alive, but Lockhart is mad about all the soldiers he lost, so he doesn't want to take any chances. Alcatraz follows the VDR until he reaches Harbor Light's pier, fighting Lockhart's men on the way. At one point, he manages to steal a cell tank. Lockhart tries to airstrike him, but Tara Strickland interferes, telling the pilots the orders from the highest level are different. Alcatraz researches the lab and turns out the cell forces are all over the place. Soon he reaches Gould. Doctor checks his suit and he realizes this is not Prophet. He panics, but the computer shows him that Prophet has given the suit to Alcatraz and shot himself. Gould explains to Alcatraz that Prophet kept saying he found an answer to the virus. He also says that the suit has like a living code in the deeper layers, and now it acts like it was rewriting itself to accommodate something new. Gould guesses that it might be biocoding for a vaccine. He says that the only place he can study is at Hargreave's lab on Roosevelt Island. And now they need to move as Cell is already approaching them. Alcatraz tries to protect Gould, but he gets thrown out of the window. After hitting the ground, he gets a bit dizzy, but Gould connects, and now he tells Alcatraz to go to the Cell's command post on Wall Street, as they must have a nanosuit cradle with deep scan capacity. Alcatraz researches the place and breaks through the roof, and turns out Gould is already there. They terrorize the lab personnel and perform a suit scan. It turns out that Alcatraz is heavily injured, but the suit is merging with the tissue and keeps him in shape. When they try to perform a deep scan, Lockhart shows up and takes down Gould. He wants to kill Alcatraz, still thinking that is Prophet in the suit, but Tara interrupts, and he is only able to power down the suit. They put Alcatraz on a helicopter and Lockhart orders them to deliver him to Hargreaves. But when they try to take off, an alien machine pops out of the ground and Alcatraz falls down off the chopper. It makes the whole place dark and releases some kind of a gas that kills cell soldiers all over the place. While his suit is rebooting, Alcatraz sees that an alien ship drops soldiers everywhere. He tries to fight his way to escape from there, but he is too weak and loses his consciousness. Then we see his nanosuit trying to study an alien tissue and a flashback of Prophet being briefed by Hargreave about the mission on Lingshan Islands from Crysis 1. Alcatraz recovers and Hargreaves himself connects through the suit. He guides Alcatraz to the so-called heart of the city. There he finds a hive core entrance and Hargreave tells him to infiltrate that. But in an attempt to wipe out the Ceph, the DoD plans to bomb out the Wilson fluid barrier and drone the lower city. That means Alcatraz doesn't have much time. He is ordered to find Reeves and his men in the subway system, but turns out they are all dead. He sabotages the spore conduct to get inside the central structure. Inside, the nanosuit starts to gather data, but the spore resists and throws Alcatraz outside. Since the US bombers are already starting to drop bombs, Hargreave sends a helicopter to pick up Alcatraz, but he is not quick enough, and he gets flooded. When Alcatraz wakes up, he hears a voice of a special unit searching for him. Soon, aliens approach, but Chino and his men are able to defeat them. Chino gives Alcatraz a gun and turns out they know each other. Alcatraz and the rest go to the extraction point. Hargreave informs that the suit is building a biocode bridge between human and Ceph technology. He orders Alcatraz to go to his laboratory. They get there through the parking level and must reach the 11th floor to pick up a bioprotocol samples. Though Hargreave tries to order the soldiers protecting the building to cease fire on Alcatraz, they refuse to obey and want to kill him, still thinking that it's Prophet inside the suit. Alcatraz manages to get the samples, but Lockhart is out of control at this point. He sends all he has to kill Alcatraz and starts his own little revolution. Hargreave tells Alcatraz he will deal with Lockhart and sends him to the central station to help with the evacuation. He helps to evacuate civilians from Bryant Park and assists Marine fallback to the train station. Then he joins Echo Company for the perimeter defense. Sergeant Reiner tells Alcatraz they want to bring down the building on the other side of the streets to block the mortar fire. Since the safety breakers are tripped, Alcatraz must get there and bring them back. When the soldier with the detonator gets killed, Alcatraz finds it and tries to do the job, but he gets tackled by an alien and falls down from the window. With a little luck, he still manages to blow up the building and get out from there in one piece. Then he is sent to defend the upper levels of the station until the evacuation is complete. He meets Colonel Barclay and Dr. Gould. Gould tries to convince the colonel to ride the Roosevelt Island, but he doesn't want to listen as evacuation is his main priority. Colin suspects that Tara Strickland probably let Dr. Gould escape and wonders why she did that. Then he says she was a decorated Marine, but after Strickland died on Lingshan Islands, she cracked and started drinking and got kicked out of the military. Station gets under attack. Alcatraz and the others fight to buy the civilians time to evacuate. At one point, the skyscraper starts to collapse, so they need to evac to the other point, but unfortunately not all the civilians made it out before they were buried underground. Soldiers are transported to the Times Square where military sets the secondary evac point and helps with the airlift evacuation. Then he tries to evacuate with Colonel Barclay, but all of a sudden, an alien sphere pops out from the underground. Hargreave calls and tells Barclay this is a deadly weapon and convinces him to let Alcatraz deal with it. Alcatraz is told by Hargreave to climb up on it and sabotage the damn thing with his suit, but it weakens him and he falls down on the ground, soon being approached by Cyclops. But it turns out the plan actually worked and the sphere goes crazy, killing all aliens and falling down. Alcatraz is barely alive, but he manages to defibrillate himself and reboot the suit. He gets picked up by a VTOL and flies away. Turns out the trains from the first evacuation point were derailed, and Gold got stuck with the rest of the civilians. Again, he tries to convince Barclay to send Alcatraz to Prism facility on Roosevelt Island and save Hargreave, and actually this time Colonel agrees. As he gets near the island, he gets an info from Hargreave that Lockhart's men are all over there, and he tries to guide him through to the power station where Alcatraz triggers the emergency shutdown. That way, he compromises Lockhart's EMP, which is the only weapon that actually can stop Nanosuit. Then Alcatraz goes for Lockhart himself and chokes him to death. But when he tries to reach Hargreave, he gets assaulted by EMP. Turns out it was Sarah Strickland who was there instead of Hargreave. They take Alcatraz to Prism for research. They try to take off his nanosuit. The operation is painful and Alcatraz has some flashbacks while Hargreave says he had no choice as the suit might be the only way to stop the Ceph's invasion. In the flashbacks, he sees Prophet informed by Hargreave that the suit learned the Ceph nanosystems and he wants to send him back. Angry Prophet figures out that Hargreave sent him and the rest to the Linkso Islands only to gather the alien tissue, but Hargreave explains that it was a necessary sacrifice to save humanity. Turns out the suit is rejecting the rip and it starts overloading. Hargreave orders to headshot Alcatraz, but Tara Strickland saves him and kills the guards. Then she introduces herself as a CIA agent and she frees Alcatraz. Tara explains that though Hargreave is insane, he is still valuable, as he stole the Ceph technology 100 years ago, and he has been working on it ever since. He clearly has some plan for confronting the invasion, and the CIA wants to know what it is. Tara tells Alcatraz only he can capture Hargreave with the help of his nanosuit, since he is under a very tight security. Even CIA can't get to him. Alcatraz actually makes it into his office, but he only appears on a TV screen. Soon, he reveals himself lying in some medical capsule. Turns out, he believed that wearing a Prophet's nanosuit will bring his body back to life. But since he accepts his defeat, he gives Alcatraz the syringe to upgrade the nanosuit. Alcatraz takes it, and it causes a major dysfunction of the suit. He sees a flashback with the plans of invasion, revealing that Cephs were in New York all that time before it even started. Turns out that Hargreave purposely built his facility here in New York. Aliens start to attack the building and Alcatraz fights his way, while Hargreave informs his men they must stop hunting him and help him to evacuate, as he is the only hope for humanity. Alcatraz goes across the bridge, and as it starts collapsing, he falls down into the river. While in the water, the nanosuit completes the nano-catalyst viability assessment. When Alcatraz wakes up, he hears Gold talking to Strickland about how he and the suit are the key to all of this. Doctor looks into Prophet's memory and says that Cephs are based right under the reservoir in Central Park. That's where the main spore regulator is. Gold believes that if they get the suit inside, they have a shot on rolling back the whole invasion. Meanwhile, Barclay informs that Pentagon wants to drop a nuclear missile on the whole city. Strickland asks him for an air assist. Barclay agrees, but since the Cephs are blocking the signal transmission, Alcatraz goes to the rooftop and marks the targets for airstrike. He tries to get back to the park as quickly as possible, but the entire land rises from the ground. Alcatraz gets on a chopper and flies over the sphere. He has 20 minutes before the government will launch the nuke. Helicopter can't get directly over the sphere, so Alcatraz must reach it on foot. He gets inside and throws himself down into the structure. He sees Prophet, who tells him he had to break the link between him and the suit, as Cephs got into him and gained control. Then he shows him the map of Ceph activity all over the Earth, proving they've been here forever. And then the suit makes the sphere explode, causing a wave that kills aliens all over the city. A few days later, we see the survivors being evacuated, but Alcatraz hears the words of the Prophet who says This thing isn't even close to being over. Then Alcatraz wakes up on the ground and he is connected by a guy introducing himself as Carl Ernst Rush. And that's how the game ends.